So hey listen, there's this movie that simply everyone must see. It's a super big smash hit, everyone loves it, and it's by Disney. The movie is called Frozen. It's the greatest thing that's ever been. So won't you go see the movie Frozen? P.S. It was award chosen.
Okay, fine. Gosh.
So how'd you like the movie Frozen? It's the greatest, yeah I know. It beats Tangled, Beauty and the Beast, Toy Story, even Lion King. The characters are so funny, songs timeless, sing along every time. Why don't you like the movie Frozen? What's wrong with you? Are you ill? It's been loved by all for 3 long years, and strong going still. This movie is so forward-thinking, it's a work of art I just cannot comprehend. Why you don't like the movie Frozen?
It's unlikely you live in the United States or Canada and haven't had Frozen shoved in your face for the past 3 or 4 years. This movie is freaking everywhere, with myriads of kids screaming "Let it go" leading the charge. But for those who have been living under a rock for the past 3 years, trust me, I envy you. I will enlighten you on this Disney phenomenon.
Frozen was the 51st animated movie by the Walt Disney Animation Studio, and it came into theaters in late 2013. It was the last movie in what I like to call the new Disney triad. These were the 3 movies Disney made as they were trying to get away from Pixar and get back to the roots after the early 2000 flops, and consisted of Princess and the Frog, Tangled, and Frozen. Princess and the Frog was the last 2D animated movie Disney made. It was met with an overall sense of meh, but it was essentially Disney getting back to the roots in the old-fashioned fairy tale musical. And in that, it succeeded. With Tangled, they tried something different. With minimalist advertising, the story of Rapunzel being incorporated into a wacky road trip movie instead of the typical fairy tale. And to top it all off, it was the first 3D movie Disney made without the help of Pixar. And the people loved it. It was a huge success, sold a ton of merchandise, so obviously Disney copied this model when they moved on to Frozen. The Story of the Snow Queen by Hans Christian Andersen was actually one Walt Disney had wanted to do from the very beginning, but unfortunately he was never able to get to it before he died. So, in his legacy, the people at Disney took on the project. It went through rewrites, redesigns, and reimaginings until they finally got a concept they could market. Hence, Frozen. In the same vein as Tangled, it went through the same minimalist advertising, changing the name from the Snow Queen to a single unexplanatory word, and replacing all trailers with slapstick skits involving the 2 comedic relief characters so no one could really tell what the story was really about. And then it happened. The film opened and it exploded in popularity. Everyone loved it. Kids wanted to see it over and over, and it sold so much merchandise we're still getting a backlash from it 4 years later.
But is this film really that good, or are we just riding on the Disney nostalgia with pretty visuals and songs that are really easy to sing? No, shut up and hear me out! Look, I don't keep it a secret that I don't think this movie is all that good. Heck, There are times that I think it's downright terrible, but I don't form opinions without being able to back them up. So if you're willing to get off your high reindeer and open your mind for a half hour, we can take a look at Disney's monster hit, Frozen.
This movie takes place in Northern Europe, Norway to be precise. As the introductory credits roll, snow falls and a folksy chant starts up in the background. As it pulls up, we get to watch all the men cutting the ice to bring back down and sell in the city, all the while chanting in riddle about the climax.
Born of cold and winter air and mountain rain combining, this icy force both foul and fair has a frozen harbor lining.
This is perfect. This is the perfect way to start a traditional Disney movie. The music fits the location, the visuals are gorgeous, the colors fit perfectly. This is how most of the best Disney movies start. Introduce the location, give a good view of where we will be throughout the movie, and set the kind of tone you're going for through a piece of music that fits the location.
A fool off his guard could fall and fall hard out there on the dunes.
Heck, if the whole movie is going to be this good, I am sold. It would totally be deserving of all the attention it's received.
So the men finish loading their ice onto the sleds to haul it back into town when we see this little kid and his baby reindeer trying to do the same. Which, though it's absolutely adorable, begs the question, why is this kid out here? Where did he come from? Why is he so insistent on doing a man's job? Where are his parents? If his dad took him to help and is kind of an apprentice, why did he just abandon him here? If he's not related to anyone in the ice business, wouldn't someone have said to him by now, "Look, kid, beat it. It's too dangerous for you. Come back when you're older." None of this adds up! After that scene, we meet our two main characters, Elsa and Anna, princesses in the fictional kingdom of Arendelle.
Somehow, Elsa was born with magical ice powers? Yeah, that's never explained how that works. I mean, no one else has powers. What makes her so special? But I'm getting ahead of myself.
It's the middle of the night, but Anna can't sleep and wants to play.
And let me just say that I love this exchange.
Go back to sleep. I just can't. The sky's awake, so I'm awake. So we have to play. Go play by yourself.
I don't know why, but the relationship between these two when they're young just cracks me up. This is pretty much how sisters really act. And it seems so genuine here, I can't help but smile at it. I guess it reminds me a little bit of myself and my sister.
So the two go about goofing around, Elsa using her magic to make a winter wonderland in the ballroom until she accidentally shoots Anna in the head.
Anna! Mama, Papa! You okay, Anna? I got you.
Elsa, what have you done? This is getting out of hand.
Okay, stop. I have questions.
1. Why is the king and queen dressed in their regalia? Do they sleep in them? Wouldn't they be wearing some sort of pajamas or at the very least a bit more comfortable clothing? It's not like they're addressing their subjects at this time of night. What are they, cartoon characters or something?
Don't answer that.
2. I understand why, and it's an understandable human reaction, but it still seems a bit cruel that the parents seem to automatically blame Elsa for using her powers like she hurt her sister on purpose.
3rd, wait, what? Okay, I understand this is a Disney movie and everything, and there's usually a lot of magic and fairy tale elements to them, but where the heck do rock trolls come in? Wouldn't it make more sense to have her go to, I don't know, a sorcerer or another person who has magic instead of some random race of sentient boulders?
I guess I wouldn't be so flabbergasted by it if it had been mentioned before that supernatural creatures exist in this world as well, but nope, this is the first time they're ever mentioned.
Prior to this, we just assumed that in this world magic exists, but that's about as far as supernatural elements go. So this whole true thing comes pretty much the frick out of nowhere.
But okay, if you can accept the ridiculousness of this concept, they go to the king of the rock trolls, I guess, because he can use magic or something.
I don't know, I had to turn my brain off because this whole setup isn't making sense.
So the Troll King somehow heals Anna by changing her memories.
Okay, stop. I have more questions.
What is the point of this? What would removal of all memories of magic accomplish? And if you want to remove all magic, why not remove or limit Elsa's instead?
Furthermore, I understand this is pretty much all symbolism, what with the ice in the head, ice in the heart versus evil in the head, evil in the heart. But it's meshed up in the narrative so awkwardly, it either makes the story confused and lumpy, or sorely messes up the symbolism and buries it so deeply you'd need to have a doctorate in philosophy to unearth it all.
Anyway, somehow the Troll King heals Anna by just removing her memories of magic.
I have no idea how this is supposed to accomplish anything. Isn't that kind of like going to the hospital with a broken leg and them saying,
Doctor, help! I fell off the roof and broke my leg. Well, now, let me just science here and remove your memories of falling off that roof and breaking your leg, and we'll have you fixed up in a jiffy. Doctor, I'm healed. That'll be $500. Oh.
Your power will only grow. There is beauty in it, but also great danger. You must learn to control it. Fear will be your enemy.
So somehow the king and queen translate this into lock her away and pretend she doesn't exist at all, because after this they lock her away and don't let her come out.
child neglect and favoritism. Great qualities in a Disney movie.
Seriously, for the next few minutes, she's pretty much left entirely alone and not allowed to interact with anyone to learn how to control her powers.
As a superhero fanatic, I know that this is the exact way you create a super villain. Parents of the Year award goes to these two.
So, during the growing up / neglected overprotection montage, we get the first real song. And I know you're probably expecting me to talk about it. It's fine, I guess. It gets the point across and it's functional. But it's not really that memorable and it's not easy to sing along to unless you've heard it a couple dozen times. There's nothing inherently wrong with it though, and if the kids like it, it's fine. It's just kind of, I expect more from Disney.
I say there's nothing wrong with this song, and that's mostly true. However, there is one line that irritates me.
The gloves will help. See? Conceal it.
Don't feel it.
Don't let it show.
There is actually a number of reasons why this line bothers me, but the biggest of them all would probably be, this is the absolute worst advice you can give to a young child, especially one who has powers and is as naturally emotional as Elsa has been so far. This isn't some kitten you adopted off the street where you don't know their history, what they're capable of, or their baggage. This is your own child, whom you have raised from birth for 9 years or however old she is. Emotions are good. Emotions are healthy. Yes, you need to be rational and you can't just go hee-hawing on every emotion that comes to your head because emotions are also fickle and unreliable. But They are nonetheless important, and denying them is extremely unhealthy. There is a difference between denying your emotions and just being rational. Denying your emotions means being depressed, sullen. You don't care about anything or anyone. Everything is a lie. Being rational means you care, you feel things, but you don't let your emotions control your actions. You're level-headed, you think things through, making decisions that equate to the best outcome for everyone. Being rational takes a great deal of practice and maturity. And if Disney actually tried teaching that message for a change as opposed to all this follow your heart wherever it may lead you BS, I'd actually be impressed.
You have to calm down. My powers are driven by emotion. The more you feel, the more energy you unleash.
So, because this is a Disney movie, the parents die at sea, and that makes Elsa even more unsure of herself, which makes her powers worse.
My powers are driven by emotion. The more you feel, the more energy you unleash.
Cut to 3 years later, and they finally decide that it's time for Elsa to actually be named queen.
Who ruled the country for the past 3 years, seeing as how the princesses haven't even been seen since the king and queen's death? And Elsa hasn't been seen since she was, 9 or so?
So not even 5 minutes or so since our last song, we get another one.
Which is kind of a no-no. Typical Disney movies usually have about 5 main songs, and they should be sprinkled evenly throughout the picture. If you put all of them at the beginning, it makes it feel clunky and unbalanced. But I'm getting off the subject.
About this song, I don't like it. It sounds too poppy, too modern to be in a Disney movie. I mean, for the first time in forever.
Not really all that timeless.
But another thing I noticed while watching this movie again for this review, this song proves that Anna was kept locked away against her will in this as well. Why? What sense does that make? She doesn't have powers, why couldn't she go out and make friends?
These parents were seriously the worst.
Please, I can't live like this anymore. Then leave.
Sheesh, even Elsa has more common sense. Yeah, you don't like being cooped up? Go ahead, leave. No one told you had to stay.
Don't know if I'm elated or gassy, but I'm somewhere in that zone.
Wow. Ingenious songwriting there. Classic Disney music at its best.
I know a lot of people have a problem how she goes from thinking about meeting real people to meeting the man she wants to marry. I don't actually have a problem with it. I mean, come on. You're a hormonal teenage girl. You've been locked away for your whole life, no one to talk to, no way to make friends, much less find any sort of romance.
And trust me, sheltered girls tend to be the worst when they finally figure out what Twitter-pated actually means, if you get what I'm saying.
In short, this jump-in topic seems pretty natural, especially considering her somewhat eccentric personality. I don't have a problem with it.
What I do have a problem with is her behavior while contemplating it.
Tonight, imagine me gown and all, fetchingly draped against the wall, the picture of sophisticated grace. Ooh, I suddenly see him standing there, a beautiful stranger, tall and fair. I want to stuff some chocolate in my face. But then we laugh and talk all evening, which is totally bizarre. Nothing like the life I've led so far.
This is exactly why you do not over-shelter your kids, because they turn into this socially awkward mess.
I'm bumbly and ditzy, but you can't help liking me because I'm so naive and cute. Tee-hee! This is totally unrelated, but I'd just like to point out most of these paintings are actually recreations of famous works. Nice artistic touch.
Hey!
I'm so sorry. Are you hurt?
Hey. Yeah, no, I'm okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I just wasn't looking where I was going, but I'm great. Actually.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh, Prince Hans of the Southern Isles.
Princess Anna of Arendelle.
Princess? My lady.
Whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Woo. Hi. Again?
Oh, boy.
This is awkward. Not you're awkward, but just because I'm awkward. You're gorgeous. Wait, what?
I think you're hot, so I'm just going to get flustered and bumble around. Seriously, this cliche needs to die. No one acts like this.
So Elsa is officially crowned queen. Wow, is that actual Latin?
I'm impressed, movie. Good job.
But though she should know by now that strong emotions only make things worse, Elsa freaks and starts to freeze the coronation items. Which, I don't know, if I saw my leader freak out like this, I'd be a little concerned something was up. But I guess not any of these people, as we then cut to the coronation party where she and Anna have their first conversation in about a decade.
Hi, me? Oh, hi? You look beautiful. Thank you.
You look beautifuler. I mean, not fuller. You don't look fuller, but more beautiful.
Thank you. So, this is what a party looks like. It's warmer than I thought. What is that amazing smell? Chocolate.
I actually like this exchange. It's sweet, it feels genuine, and it seems like something these characters would do in this situation. And then this character shows up.
The Duke of Weaseltown.
Weselton! Duke of Weselton, Your Majesty.
To be honest, I don't even know why he's here. He really adds nothing except he's a shady commerce partner, and he adds some quirky comic relief sometimes, but honestly, you could generally cut him out and nothing would change. Not only that, but something about the way he's rendered in a lot of scenes just doesn't look quite right. Like he was a last-minute thought, and his character was made and rigged on the fly, or even by a different company entirely. Because while most of the characters act, for the most part, naturally, he has overly animated expressions and gestures. And when he moves in certain ways, maybe it's just me, but I keep feeling like the textures aren't quite right. I can't really describe it other than it feels like this character was not given enough time to code or render properly. Anyway, back to the story. Hans and Anna meet up again and spend the night talking, which takes yet another song!
All my life has been a series of doors in my face, and then suddenly I bump into you.
I was thinking the same thing, because, I've been searching my whole life to find my own place. And maybe it's the party talking, or the chocolate fondue.
Really, people? We're not even halfway in and you're only allowed 2 or 3 more songs. Do you really want to waste all of your songs in the first half hour?
So this song, I hate. Granted, it's a bit more memorable than the past two, but it's just a boring pop song about stupid, frivolous love, and it's not even written that well. I'll admit the token falling in love songs are by far my least favorite of all the Disney soundtrack, but I can at least admit that they're generally well written.
Can you feel the love tonight? The peace the evening brings. The world for once in perfect harmony with all its living things. Tale as old as time, tune as old as song, bittersweet and strange, finding you can change, learning you were wrong. I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide?
Anyway, much better than this frivolous nonsense.